Welcome back, everyone, to Halloween Haunt, 365.com, the podcast. I'm Jared.
And I'm Terry.
Welcome back. Today, we're going to wrap up some haunt news, like usual, and then we're going to get into Freddy vs. Jason, as you can tell from the thumbnail you just clicked. So, let's take a look. Don't forget, you got to get your tickets. We have a Friday the 13th mini convention located at the Blairstown Diner in Blairstown, New Jersey. Website for tickets is f13minicon.eventbrite.com. I'll leave a link in the description. The convention is May 13th and May 14th, presented by Horror 365. They have some pretty cool guests announced, so make sure you head over to the Facebook page and see who's coming. And Eventbrite to buy your tickets now. Let's hear from one of the hosts at Horror 365 now.
Save the date! Friday the 13th, May 2022, the only Friday the 13th of the year. Yours truly, Jimmy J, and the Horror 365 team are coming back to Blairstown. And for what? The first ever Friday the 13th Minicon, all hosted by the Blairstown Diner. Guys, girls, horrors, tickets are on sale next Thursday, January 13th. Stay tuned. More announcements are coming your way for another killer time in Blairstown. We'll see you there.
All right, that was Jimmy J from Horror 365. Check out their podcast and YouTube channel. Become pretty good friends of the website. Doing some good things over there.
He's high energy.
Very high energy. Gotta love it. Gotta have him do some videos for us here. Some hype videos. I try to get hype, but it's just not my demeanor. If you guys have not been able to tell, that's alright. But we are a haunted attraction website, so we have some haunts opening for Valentine's Day. First up, Valentine's Day, Dark Valentine at Brighton Asylum is February 11th and 12th. Ticket booth opens at 7:30 and shuts down at 9:30. You also have a coming attraction. Let's see it. God, I gotta get into a haunt.
I cannot wait.
Oh, man, I'm dying here. What are we going, March? Alright. Well, we got the NFC AFC Championship games tomorrow. You're watching this much later. Then we got the Super Bowl in 2 weeks after that. We got Meat Fest coming. So by then it'll be March.
Yeah, that is true.
So, we're getting there. We're getting there. Alright. Next on the bill, Field of Screams, Valentine's Day Haunt is February 12th. Parking lot opens at 5:30. Ticket booth opens at 6. I'd be there at 5:30 with my little camera, taking pictures. We're getting a ton of footage this year because now I have a lot of room to make videos and stuff, so it'll be fun. They're going to have to literally kick us out of there saying, we want to go home. That's alright, though. So let's watch their preview video now. Alright, pretty badass.
That girl's so creepy.
She is. Den of Darkness and Frightmare Asylum will be open. I believe tickets are $30. $15 more if you add VIP. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. I would see how the crowd looks. But if you buy your tickets in advance, get the VIP. That way you can enjoy the other things going on, like the games and the food and stuff. You're in and out whenever you want.
I think it's worth it.
It is. It's a good time. Alright, next up, more haunt news, because like I said, we are a haunted attraction website. We have the 13th Hour Haunted House. Has a Valentine's Day event on Saturday, February 12th, starting at 7 p.m. Go to 13thhour.com to grab your tickets now. all 3 attractions will be open. That's pretty badass. We have a cutscene for them from their Facebook page. It's not about Valentine's Day, but it shows a little opening, a little look inside their haunt, but let's go to that now. Pretty badass haunt, one of our up-and-comers in the area. Had a pretty good time there, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think we've been there 3 times?
Two or three.
Yeah. Great times, great times. Alright. So that's all the haunt news we have so far. A lot of the teams are taking the time off right now, relaxing before they get in the build season. Other haunted attractions are building right now. Some are cleaning up, some are getting ready. It's around the corner. But as you can tell, when haunt season's slow, we hop into horror. You can tell from our last episodes, we love horror. This is going to wrap up our Nightmare on Elm Street films.
I'm excited to go to our next.
Move on to something else. We're going to move on to the Conjuring universe after this, in chronological order and not theatrical release order. So, she hasn't seen a couple of them. There's only one I haven't seen. But it'll be fun. We'll bring new stuff in. We'll learn a lot. I mean, I could have done all these reviews without watching the movies, but what fun is that? But today, we come to Freddy vs. Jason. Not a lot of people love this movie. I love this movie. The fight scenes are fantastic. Acting was okay. The plot, out of all the ideas that have come out for this fucking movie since I was like 7, none of them made sense until this one. So, if you're going to hate on the plot, really dig deep, hit on you on Google, and find some other ones. People are out of their damn minds. So, let's get into Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy vs. Jason was directed by Ronnie Yu, who just came off of Bride of Chucky, which I don't know why they went with this guy, but they did, and it turned out what it did. It came into 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 41% on Rotten Tomatoes, 37% on Metacritic. It was released August 13th, 2003. Well, you can definitely feel the early 2000s all through this movie. Budget of $30 million, and it did just under $116.6 million. People were hungry for this movie.
Wow. That's a lot of bank.
Good or bad, they were flooding to this theater. I was there the Thursday it opened. Because it actually released the 12th, and then the 13th was a Friday. But I was there Thursday night.
I'm sure you were.
This movie was in the making for so long. I'm going to say since like 86 people have been talking about this.
Wow, that's a long time.
I know. And then it took till 2003 to finally make it happen with the licensing bullshit, them not liking it. Just look it up online one day if you feel like it, because there was a lot of drama that went into this movie. We might have some in here. We'll find out. So, let's get into our deep dive of Freddy vs. Jason. Since his last defeat, Freddy Krueger has been in hell and unable to invade child's dreams. As the adults of Springwood have gone to extremes to make sure their children have forgotten him, using his remaining power, Freddy resurrects Jason Voorhees, appearing as Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees. He manipulates Jason into killing the teens of Springwood in order to create a fear in the townsfolk that Freddy has returned, which would allow him to regain his strength. Meanwhile, Laurie Campbell, who lives with her widowed father, has a sleepover with her friends Kia and Gib. They are later joined by Trey, Gib's emotional, abusively boyfriend, what a fucking dick, and his friend Blake, what an idiot. Jason enters the house and murders Trey in one of the coolest murders ever. Stabs the shit out of him and then folds him up into the bed. That could be a cool scene for some haunts.
That
Walking
could
by
be,
with a body
like,
in the... Yeah, I think that...
like the bed fold up.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be related. It could just be a haunt scene. It could be done cheaply. Donated mattress, some fake body, a lot of blood. Make it happen. Coming back. Jason enters the house and murders Trey, and the police suspect Freddy. After a nightmare, Blake awakens to find his father decapitated by Jason, who then kills Blake himself. The police call it a murder-suicide the following day, hoping to conceal Freddy's return from the rest of the town. You can kill yourself by cutting your shit in half? Okay, cool. Elsewhere, Laurie's ex-boyfriend Will Rollins and his friend Mark Davis forcibly institutionalized at the Weston Hills Psychiatric Hospital. So that's like the 4th time Weston Hills has been mentioned in the series. Are made to take Hypnosil to suppress their dreams because of their previous contact with Freddy. A news report about the killings prompts them to escape and return to Springwood to warn Laurie about Freddy. That night, Laurie and the others attend a rave, because that's what you do when you just lost 3 people you went to school with.
Right, I didn't understand that, but okay.
You needed that scene for those Jason kills. So I know why they did it, I just don't know why Laurie was there. They didn't need to have Laurie there. Freddy tries to kill Gib in a nightmare, but Jason kills her first in the real world along with others at the rave, angering Freddy. Oh, you don't want to piss off that guy.
No.
Will, Laurie, and Kia escape the rave with school nerd Charlie Linderman and stoner Bill Freeberg. Can we get into Freeberg's character for a minute here? And why the fuck he looks like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob? And talks the same way?
He does.
Has the same fucking hat? Why was that a thing?
I don't know.
Kevin Smith didn't direct this. Why the fuck is there a Freeberg? It was really weird. And I'm not the first one to bring that up. After dropping off the latter 3 in a confrontation with Dr. Campbell, who was responsible for having Will and Mark committed to Weston Hill, over Will's certainty that he saw Laurie's father murder her mother. Will and Laurie head to Mark's house only to see him get killed by Freddy. The pretty cool scene. His brother committed suicide. His brother was the bully from A Christmas Story.
That's right.
The one in the tub?
Yes.
Yeah, that's him. Pretty cool. Deputy Scott Stubbs, believing Jason is a copycat killer, makes contact with Laurie and her friends, who deduce Freddy's plan. Learning about Hypnosil, they try to get it from Weston Hills. However, Freddy possesses Freeberg. Using him to dispose the medicine, Jason arrives and electrocutes Stubbs. Freddy uses the possessed Freeberg to tranquilize Jason, causing him to fall asleep after slashing Freeberg in half. Another dope kill. Just boom! Right there. That was awesome. A lot of good kills in this movie. The teens devise a plan to pull Freddy from the dream world into reality and force him to fight Jason, bringing the unconscious Jason back home to Camp Crystal Lake, where the real estate is in development. Now, Springwood's in Ohio, Camp Crystal Lake's in Jersey. It's about a 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
So maybe Camp Crystal Lake was closer to Ohio in this universe, but
It's about 8 hours, maybe 9 hours.
So that's a long drive. Freddy fights Jason in the dream world, where he discovers that Jason has a subconscious fear of drowning. No shit. As a result of his drowning back in 1957. Freddy uses this to his advantage, and Jason becomes afraid, reverting to his younger self. Laurie goes to sleep in order to pull Freddy out and save Jason. As Freddy tortures Laurie in the dream world, revealing that he murdered her mother, Jason awakes at real Camp Crystal Lake and pursues the teens, killing Linderman by throwing him across the wall into a bookcase holder. Man, that cut must have been that deep. Ooh. Laurie is awakened and pulls Freddy into the physical world, showing a fear of fire as a result of his death by burning. Yeah, he's not going to like fire either, where he is confronted by Jason. Freddy and Jason fight throughout the campgrounds, during which Jason kills Kia. How sweet dark meat. I don't know how well that would play in today's world, but whatever. It was done.
You gotta love his lines.
You know.
His one-liners.
Freddy uses the construction site to gain the upper hand and cuts off Jason's fingers. allowing Freddy to take his machete. As Freddy is slicing away at Jason, Laurie distracts him before Jason punches his fingerless hand through Freddy's torso. Freddy retaliates by plunging Jason's machete into his side, and Jason rips Freddy's gloved arm off. Damn. Laurie and Will set the dock on fire, causing numerous propane tanks to explode and throwing Freddy and Jason into the lake. Laurie and Will embrace as Freddy makes his way to them on the dock and is about to kill the couple with Jason's machete, but he is impaled by Jason with his own clawed arm, allowing Laurie to behead Freddy with the machete. Kind of like Friday 1. They killed Miss Voorhees with a machete. Same way.
It's been so long since I saw those movies.
Well, you'd be alright with one. He's not in it. Jason falls off the dock, and Freddy's head and body sink into the lake, both seemingly dead. After dropping the machete where Jason submerged, Laurie and Will leave. The following morning, well, it's not the following morning. It's a scene from, like, where Jason was. His hell state. Jason emerges from the water holding his machete and Freddy's severed head. Freddy winks and his laughter is heard in the background, leaving the winner unknown. I mean,
I would have liked Freddy to kill Jason.
I know you would have. And I would have too. But it opened it up for sequels, which never happened.
Right.
I mean, they could still have. Well, probably not. But they were never going to call a winner. Because 2 fights on each side would have split the community.
Nah.
Yeah.
I just don't like Jason.
I know. We've become abundantly clear on that. Alright, so we're going to do our scoring before going into the cast?
Yes.
Alright. Let's get to our scoring. Cast. We have 4 stars. I really liked some of the actors. The ones that I could not stand were Laurie.
Yes.
I could not stand Kia. I could not... It's not that Freeberg played a bad role. It was just the role's been done. Why are we copying a role in a movie that has nothing to do with that universe? Like, Jay and Silent Bob have their own universe. Why is he here? Why?
Why? I don't know.
I don't know. But those 3, Laurie was terrible.
I did not like her.
Her eyes wide open every time she acted something.
Her voice irritated me.
I know. But I really liked everyone else, and I thought everyone did a solid job. Kia, I hated the fact they casted her in the beginning, because we had to have the Destiny's Child star. We didn't need it. But she did okay.
She did.
I still couldn't stand her, though. And Linderman did a good job. The Freeberg character, like I said, the kid was fine. The role was stupid. So I'm going to leave that at a 4. Fear factor, we have a 4. We voted. She's afraid of Jason. This was a badass Jason. So for us, it reached a 4. Great kills, though. Great kills throughout the entire movie. That rave scene, I mean, they went a little crazy with the blood blowing out of you like you ruptured a tendon and spraying like you're hooked up to an aerosol can. But whatever. Great kills nonetheless.
I jumped a few times.
Did you?
Yes.
Alright. Plot. I couldn't go a 5 because the ending. The last part of the ending was just too over the top. Like, you're throwing body parts through people. I mean, I know you're Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, but when have you ever done that? Like, you can almost tell that he never watched any of the movies before making this movie. And the fact that this was not who should have been playing Jason to begin with. Because we had a Jason established. He did a great job in like the last 3 of the Friday movies. That was Jason. He was the best Jason. And we get this guy. We'll get into that later.
I was going to say, I have questions about that.
Alright. Score, pretty good. You had the 2000 metal rap going. I mean, we'll show a video in a little bit about one of the bands, mainly because it's a music video from 2003. How much trouble can we get in? We'll find out.
We'll find out.
That's alright. Special effects, a 5. Awesome fire walking scene. I think that's a record for someone to walk on fire through that corn and how the corn's catching on fire next to them. Great effects. The opening scene was great with the girl's eyes are missing. You could tell some of them were computerized, like Kia's nose coming off. That was, yeah. But it was at the time where computers were just starting to take over complete.
Right, and she was all worried about getting a nose job.
Yeah. So overall, with all those scores invoked, what the hell am I saying?
What are you making?
Emotional damage.
Oh my god.
It's my favorite TikToker. I love that guy. He cracks me the fuck up. Alright, overall, with the scores, tally comes up to 4 blood splats. Like I said, it's not the best movie, but for fans, I think fans of the franchises are going to enjoy this movie more than people outside because they have a vested interest. I obviously have a vested interest in Freddy.
No, not at all. Who would have thought that?
I don't know. Whatever. Alright, so that's the overall for Freddy vs. Jason. Let's get into some of the production details, and maybe it'll explain some stuff. Alright. Cast. Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Ken Kirzinger, that's what I'm going to call him. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. As Jason Voorhees. He did okay, but like I said, there's better Voorheeses out there. Monica Keena as Laurie Campbell. Jason Ritter as Bill Rollins. He was probably my favorite.
Will?
Yeah.
Yes.
Him and the Geek. And I really like the actress who died too early. The one with the dipshit boyfriend.
Oh,
She was in
yes.
Ginger Snaps back in the day. Yeah. I liked her a lot.
Was Jason related to John Ritter?
It's a son.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I did not know that.
It's John Ritter's son.
That's
And
cool.
I want to say he died somewhere around here. But don't quote me on that. But I remember him having to deal with that in here. Kelly Rowland as Kia Wooderson. Chris Marquette as Charlie Linderman. Lachlan Monroe as Scott Stubbs. I've seen him in so many movies, and I had no idea his name was Lachlan. Catherine Isabel, who we were talking about, as Gibbs Smith. Brendan Fletcher as Mark Davis. Zach Ward as Bobby Davis, Mark's older brother, who also played, what was the bully's name in A Christmas Story?
Oh.
Zach...
no.
Fargus.
Fargus.
What was his first name?
I don't know.
Shit.
You should
Scott
know.
Fargus.
Yes.
Scott Fargus. I knew I'd pull it together. Kelly Labine as Bill Freeberg. Chris Gother as Shaq. David Coop as Blake. Jesse Hutch as Trey Cooper. Tom Butler as Dr. Campbell. Gary Chalk as Sheriff Williams. And Paula Shaw as Pamela Voorhees. They tried to get the original Pamela Voorhees, but she laughed at them. Bitch. Anyway, like she's some up and right. Come on. You're best known for being Mrs. Voorhees. Go be Mrs. Voorhees. Anyway.
Like Stifler's mom.
Right. Just go with the role. Make some money. I mean, I don't understand. Like, you're not this... whatever. Betsy Palmer. That's her name. Betsy Palmer. It's 2003. What were you doing?
Probably nothing.
Right. That would have taken her, what, a day? Alright, moving on. Influenced by fan desire for a crossover film with a fight between Freddy and Jason. New Line and Paramount tried to make a Freddy vs. Jason movie in 1987. See, I had the day right. But could not agree on the story. When Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, failed at the box office, Sean Cunningham wanted to reacquire the rights to Friday the 13th and begin working with New Line Cinema on Freddy vs. Jason. Paramount and New Line wanted the license to other characters so they could control a crossover film. Negotiations on the project collapsed, and Paramount made Jason Takes Manhattan. After Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan was released in 1989, the rights reverted to Scudery, Minison, and Bartismantu, who sold them to New Line. Before Cunningham could begin to work on Freddy vs. Jason, Wes Craven returned to New Line to make New Nightmare. This put Freddy vs. Jason on hold, but allowed Cunningham to bring back Jason with Jason Goes to Hell the final Friday. The 9th installment turned a healthy profit. Cunningham's frustration with the delayed development on Freddy vs. Jason led him to create Jason X. Hey, at least Freddy never went to fucking space. To keep the series alive. Based on Jason Takes Manhattan concept of taking Jason away from Crystal Lake. The 10th film put the character in space. The film lost its biggest supporter with the resignation of President of Production Michael DeLuca. Lack of support let the film sit for 2 years before it was released on April 26, 2002. It was the series' lowest grossing film at the domestic box office and had the largest budget of any of the films. No shit, they're in space. New Line spent a reported $6 million on script development alone from several different writers. Wow, that's crazy. See, a lot went into this movie. The film was filmed with two different endings, one with Freddy winning and one with Jason winning. Peter Briggs, Jason X writer Todd Farmer, and screenwriter duo Jonathan Abel and Glenn Berger were all later brought in to write for the film. Newcomers Mark Swift and Damian Shannon were hired after delivering a pitch that DeLuca was happy with. Gover returned to the project once it had an effort to trim every ounce of fat from the 120-page script. According to Swift and Shannon, several endings were considered for the film, one involving Pinhead of the Hellraiser franchise. But New Line did not want to secure the rights for the character. So all that going on, Sean Cunningham, who did Friday the 13th, won, and a couple of the others wanted to do this film. So they did all this bullshit with the hoops, and now we're stuck with fucking Ronnie Yu from Curse of Chucky. This could have been a lot better, folks. Casting Jason. And this is something that pisses me off. Say the guy did good. I liked him as Jason, but Kane Hodder is Jason Voorhees. It just is. He always has been. Granted, he didn't take on the role till later, but he's my favorite Jason. New Line.
It's not like he talks.
Yeah, but there's builds, there's way you carry yourself. That's what they were looking for. New Line, thinking that Freddy vs. Jason needed a fresh start, chose a different actor to play Jason. Cunningham disagreed with their decision. No shit, because it's the wrong fucking decision. Believing that Kane Hodder, who played Jason in the previous 4 films, was the best choice for the role. Although Hodder received the script for Freddy vs. Jason and even met with director Ronnie Yu and the New Line executives, Yu and Matthew Berry felt that the role should be recast to fit Yu's image of Jason. Hodder said that New Line did not give him a reason for the recasting, according to Yu. However, he wanted a taller, slower, and more deliberate Jason. The role went to Ken Kissinger, a Canadian stuntman who worked on Jason Takes Manhattan. Yu said that Kissinger was hired because he was taller than Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger. Kissinger is 6'5" tall compared to the 6'3" Hodder. 2 inches? Robert Englund's 5'9". They're both fucking taller. You wanted a much taller act. Ow. Yeah. How is 2 inches? It's 2 inches. Yeah.
You're not going to notice that on camera.
Robert Englund is 5'9". So I'm taller than Robert Englund. I don't know that. Kissinger believed that his experience on Part 8, doubling for Hodder in 2 scenes, and his height helped him land the part. New Line did not cast Kissinger until they saw him on film, and his first scene was Jason walking down Elm Street. Douglas Tate played Jason in a reshot ending. Now, I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think it should have been Kane Hodder. 6'3" is tall enough. Filming for Freddy vs. Jason began on September 9th, 2002, and ended on December 10th, 2002. So 3 months.
That's not bad.
No.
That's pretty quick.
It was. Freddy vs. Jason has grossed $82.6 million in the United States and Canada and $34 million in other territories for a total of $116.6 million. The film earned $36.4 million in its opening weekend at 3,000 theaters in North America, topping the box office. It remained number one in its second weekend and dropped to sixth place in the third weekend. So great turnout. Great turnout for that. That's good. Some of our favorite scenes. The opening score. The opening score and Freddy's backstory. Where they went, when I was alive, I may have been naughty,
Yes.
but after they killed me, I became much, much worse. I love backstory. You guys can tell I like backstory. And when we get Freddy's backstory, I'm good. Number 2, of course, the dogfight at the end. That's what we're watching the movie for, is to watch these two fight. Laurie watching Jason drown as a kid. That was a cool scene. They're at the camp. Jason's drowning. Krueger comes up in some crazy, like, water demon makeup.
Yeah,
that was kind of weird.
That was weird.
But cool looking. It was kind of scary. And that's our 3 favorite scenes. Before we get into the fun facts, we're going to play the music video that was the intro to the movie. Let's go. So that's the music video that went around with the movie. I believe it's the entrance.
It is a cool video.
It is. It's really brings me back to 2003. All right, so we got some fun facts. Let's see what we got. Ken Kirsinger had to undergo some dental work during filming, but it would have taken too much time to remove his makeup and costume and reapply them. When he arrived at the dentist's office still dressed as Jason, without the hockey mask, people were afraid he was an escaped psychopath and almost called the police.
Oh my gosh.
This is the final film in which Robert Englund plays the role of Freddy Krueger. According to Robert Englund, his Freddy makeup was so thick that he couldn't tell how hot it was from the fires during filming. When he got in to have his makeup removed, it had bonded to his face.
Oh, ouch.
Jesus. Monica Keena and Catherine Isabel had rather choice words about the film, with Keena in particular saying that she thought the screenplay was terrible and that she only really signed on for the money and to raise her profile. Go fuck yourself. Is that why you did such a shitty job? You came from Dawson's Creek. Who gives a fuck what you have to say? These people act like she fucking was in, like Titanic or something. Motherfucker, what were you in? Fuck you, Monica Keena. Isabel's problems were mostly due to the fact that she didn't get along with Ronnie Yu, who tried to force her to do a nude scene even though she had specifically requested a no nudity clause when she signed on. They say Ronnie Yu causing shit. The biggest problem that occurred on set was a fight between Between director Ronnie Yu and Catherine Isabel, who had signed on to the film on the promise that she would not have to do a nude scene. During the shoot, Yu went back on his promise and repeatedly tried to pressure her to get naked. This eventually settled on using a body double. Then hire someone who's going to show her tits. I mean, like, right. She wants that clause. That's completely fine. Keep her clause. Find someone else. I mean, if that's that important to you, or fucking edit it. I mean, it's not a big deal. Standing at 6'5", Ken Kirsinger is the tallest actor to date to play Jason Voorhees. The lake at Camp Crystal Lake was also being used to film the final scenes for X2, X-Men United, at the same time this movie was being filmed. The two film casts even stayed at the same hotel. Betsy Palmer, who played Jason's mother in the original Friday the 13th, was asked to reprise her role of Miss Voorhees, but turned it down because she thought the role was too small for her. What do you want? Like, all these actors think,
I don't know. She must have thought she was high.
Like, all these actors think they're fucking Leo DiCaprio. I mean, what? Robert Englund was excited at the casting of Catherine Isabel as Gib, as he was a big fan of her film Ginger Snaps, a Canadian werewolf film. 17 scripts were submitted. These were all by pro writers. That's not even the fan scripts that were submitted, which eventually turned into one script. The producers decided for some time to go ahead with this script, but changed their minds as they could not agree with the ideas proposed. Eventually, in 2001, Damon Shannon and Mark Swift came in, created their own script. The producers felt comfortable with it, and came with the Freddy and Jason backstories. Most of the earlier scripts had to deal with cults that were attempting to resurrect Freddy and Jason to come back and fight. That's not a horrible idea.
No, it's not.
It'd be cool to see some cult action. I would not be involved in bringing back Freddy.
You're a mess.
This was the first Freddy movie not filmed in the United States, and the filmmakers had to search for a new house that would resemble the famous Freddy Krueger Elm Street house. Actor Brad Renfro dropped out of the film. Ian Smolder was considered as a replacement, but Ronnie Yu felt he was too pretty. This film marks Robert Englund's last official on-screen appearance as Freddy. This is outdated, though he would occasionally appear as a character at conventions and events. In 2014, Englund officially retired from the role after appearing in full costume and makeup at an event, marketing as his final portrayal of the character. But then he came back in the Goldbergs. The Goldbergs episode is the last time he did it. This is the Kane Hodder story we already went over. A sequel was planned but never materialized. Wildstorm published a 6-issue comic series in late 2007 and early 2008. This added the Evil Dead Ash Williams to the mix. While several journalists and television hosts have tried to embarrass Kelly Rowland over her role in the film, she has always responded by saying that the film was a hit and she enjoyed making it and therefore has nothing to... And I was talking shit on the Destiny's Child when these two idiots... She was all about it. Ken Kirzinger revealed that during filming the scene of the characters looking for the Hypnosil in the insane asylum, special effects sparks landed on Kirzinger's, causing his costume to catch on fire. A stuntman for over 20 years, Kirzinger remained calm while stagehand rushed with fire extinguishers to put him out. The $30 million budget of the film was the highest in the Friday the 13th series. In several early drafts of the script, 2 twists were considered that would have connected the past of Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. One considered twist was that Freddy either raped or had consensual sexual encounter with Jason's mother, and as a result, had unknowingly fathered Jason. That's weird.
Yeah, no.
Because Freddy killed all the victims. So she wouldn't be around. Another twist considered was that Freddy had worked at Camp Crystal Lake in the past and had either molested Jason as a child or was somehow connected to his drowning, being a child murderer and potential sexual offender, thus giving Jason a motivation. Now, that's not a bad idea.
I was going to say, that's not a bad idea.
Leave out the sexual shit, but if he forcefully drowned Jason,
right,
as Freddy is a child murderer, that would have worked. Giving Jason a motivation to track down and kill Freddy. Not a bad idea. Because kind of, poof, we're in hell. How did we get to hell? You know what I mean? Like, the start of the movie is a little bumpy. Brent Chapman, Blake's father, and Kyle Labine Freeberg appeared in Halloween Resurrection. Yes, they did. Making them the first actors to appear in a Freddy, a Jason, and a Michael Myers movie. Rob Zombie was offered to direct.
Oh, boy.
I don't know.
Wonder where it would have went.
If it would have worked. Don't get me wrong. I love Rob Zombie's Halloween. Not Halloween 2, but Rob Zombie's
Halloween.
I
wonder.
And honestly, H2, you take out the white horse, you have a good movie. Rob Zombie was offered to direct, but turned it down to work on his pet project, House of 1,000 Corpses. And I am so glad he did. According to director Ronnie Uboy, the special effects team used 300 gallons of fake blood for the movie.
That's a lot. A lot of blood.
As a little girl, actress Monica Keena's fear of the Freddy Krueger character resulted in her school teachers thinking she was abused at home. You were a moron when you were a kid, too. So now this is turning into a war against Monica Keenan. I don't even know what the fuck she's been in lately. Weston Hills is Freddy's birthplace and was featured in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, no, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, and then this one. During tests and advanced screenings, the ending was not added to the film. Instead, the following text appears. On August 15th, 2003, see the final 60 seconds and see who has survived and what is left of them. This is a direct reference to the tagline for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974. Who will survive and what will be left of them? Huh. Freddy's boiler room in the movie was not a built set. It was actually an old boiler room redressed by the crew. Oh, that's pretty cool. According to Kane Hodder, C.J. Graham, who's another famous person who played Jason in the best Jason movie, Jason Lives, had a chance to reprise his role for the film after his agent suggested it to him. He declined a chance as he was good friends with Kane Hodder and felt so they were trying to bring C.J. Graham in and he didn't do it because of Kane Hodder. See, C.J. Graham's right. One early version of the script called for the beginning of the film to take place in medieval times.
No.
While another called for the beginning to start out at Camp Crystal Lake with Jason getting arrested.
No.
Another script was to have the beginning of the film take place on the eve of the millennium.
No.
Jesus. Catherine Isabel is always shown wearing a red baseball hat. This is a reference to Carrie, 1976, where PJ Souls' character always wore a red baseball hat. Isabel appeared in Carrie in 2002. Huh. She was in the remake.
Interesting. I don't think I ever saw the remake.
It was okay. I didn't think it needed to be remade. The first one's pretty fine. The kids go to Weston Hills to look for the experimental drug Hypnosil. Hypnosil was a drug that Neil Gordon discovered was being taken by Nancy Thompson when they were working at Weston Hills. Oh, I'm burping. The scene, which featured Jason's bed kill, was originally rejected by New Line. But screenwriters Mark Swift and Damian Shannon fought hard for filming it. They acted it out on the floor to convince Ronnie Yu. After he liked the idea, the scene was filmed, and it turned out to be the biggest reaction of the audience. Yeah, because it was awesome. Peter Jackson was asked to direct. I don't know what Peter Jackson would have done with it. He's more artsy. In the first interview concerning the film, Ken Kirzinger did the whole video interview in Jason's costume, wearing the mask, clothes, and makeup in order to make the viewers more confident in him and loyal to his character. Because I'm not alone in being pissed. There were a lot of people pissed that he got Jason. Just moving on to some more. They replay a lot of the goat scene in Blake's early nightmare sequence is a reference to Tina's nightmare involving a goat. Yeah, but the goat in Nightmare was real, and this was a bad computer animation.
It was. It was pretty bad.
Over the course of the film's long development stage, New Line Cinema reportedly spent around $6 million on it, ultimately receiving 18 different drafts of. They spent $6 million on just the script. Jesus.
It's a lot of money.
The bag placed over Jason's head in Crystal Lake Nightmare is a reference to the bag Jason wore in Friday 2, before he started wearing his trademark hockey mask in Friday 3. In the posters for this movie, Freddy's glove is on the wrong hand, on his left hand when it should be on his right hand. Robert Englund pointed it out on the DVD commentary, but there was no way to fix it as the poster had already been printed. It's probably because they redid it, and I believe that is correct. No, that's on his right side. And there's the thumb. So that poster's right. When the original script proved to be too long, the characters of Tommy Jarvis and Jenny were eliminated. Jarvis was to have been played by Jason Bateman. And Jenny by Catherine Isabel. The producers thought Isabel had the makings of a screen queen with a horror-loaded resume, so her part was switched with Lauren Lee Smith, so Catherine Isabel became Gib, and Lauren Lee Smith became Jenny, who unfortunately was no longer in the script. That's a twist. Yeah, I think Catherine Isabel should have had a bigger part. I would have been alright with her playing Monica Keenan's role.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, Ken Kirzinger stated that he portrayed Jason as a psycho savant as he lost his mom early and because he has been living in the woods by the lake by himself with no guidance. He's just sort of falling out of mandate by killing kids. He played a pussy-ass Jason. No disrespect to Ken. I mean, it was okay, but he was a pussy Jason. And one early draft of the script. There's probably a ton of these, so we'll wrap it up after this one. Jason Voorhees had been captured and restrained by authorities and would spend most of the film on trial for his countless murders. Why would you... You're going to... Because you would... Anyone like Jason Voorhees would have a trial? Get the fuck out of here. The original concept started out as Michael Myers vs. Jason, which had been planned since the early 1990s. However, that idea was dropped because Michael and Jason are too similar. Correct.
Yes.
The film was made into a big haunted house at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights in 2015 in Orlando, Florida for the event's 25th anniversary. I've seen YouTube videos of that walkthrough, and it would have been pretty dope to see that. Pretty dope. Well, that's the fun facts. Like I said, you can Google hundreds of script ideas, from cults to arrests to cryogenic tanks to just crazy shit. I would scan over a couple when I was bored back when this movie came out. But that is all we have for you today. This ends our nightmare.
Yes, it does.
We have finished the Nightmare Saga. It was fun. It was a fun ride. It was fun watching him again. Especially New Nightmare. I had a good time watching that movie again. I don't think I've seen it fully in a long time.
It was good.
Yep.
But I'm ready to move on.
We're heading to the Conjuring universe. We're going to try some new video ideas, some new haunt stuff. We got Valentine's Day haunts coming, as you saw. We have St. Patty's Day haunts coming, as you saw. Pretty soon we'll be halfway to Halloween. We'll have some haunt stuff there. Have a good time. Maybe we'll do some haunted shit in Vegas. And
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I
we can
forgot
do that.
about that.
Yep. It'll be a good time. So there's plenty of shit out there to do, so we'll have videos about that. But that's all we have for you today at Halloween Haunts, 365.com, the podcast, where every day is haunt season. Goodbye.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.